Are food labels secretly sabotaging your health goals? You thought you were doing the right thing and buying the right foods. Relying on health star ratings on the front of the package or trusting marketing slogans like high in protein, all natural, or low fat could be preventing you from reaching your health goals sooner. By the end of this video, you'll be able to review a food label in under 10 seconds to make your shopping easy, because knowing what to look for can make a huge difference to your energy, recovery, weight loss, strength, and overall results. Today, we're going to look at how to interpret the nutrition information panel, spotting added sugars, understanding types of fat, sodium content, reading the ingredients list, and later I'm going to reveal the biggest marketing traps almost everyone falls for that will torpedo all of your hard work. I'm Kylie Taylor, and I've been a PT for over 10 years, specializing in helping people over 40, both face-to-face and online. Let's be clear, food packaging is marketing. Terms like natural, light, low fat, no added sugar, organic, or superfood sound healthy, but these are terms that are often just clever branding. Most of these words aren't strictly regulated, which means a product can still be highly processed, loaded with additives, or full of sugar, salt, and hidden ingredients. So let's get an understanding of our food labels to help you make good choices moving forward. How to interpret the nutrition information panel. The nutrition information panel is where the real story is told, but it can be easy to skim over or misunderstand. Here in Australia, we have upgraded legislation for 2025 to help consumers understand what they are buying. See the link in the description. One of the most important things to focus on is the per 100 grams or per 100 ml column. This lets you compare similar products side by side, like two yogurts, even if one product is small and one's large. For example, and to make it simple, let's say the product has 5 grams of sugar per 100. This means it's 5% sugar. If it had 50 grams per 100, the product's 50% sugar. The per serve column can be used to see your actual intake, but make sure to check the serving size is the same as what you're consuming. These per serve amounts, they're often based on unrealistically small servings. For example, the serving size may say 25 grams, but the amount of product in the package might be 50 grams. This is what causes a lot of confusion and can have you take in more than what you think. Here are some key nutrients covered in the information panel with a brief explanation of what they are, things to consider next time you pick up a package. Energy, kilojoules or calories. This measures how much fuel the food provides your body, shown as kilojoules or calories. It's not just about how much or how little, it's about where that energy comes from. Look for foods that are nutrient dense and going to fuel your body. A 47-gram Mars bar has around 230 calories, and a 160-gram Greek yogurt with fresh berries and some walnuts has around 250 calories. So two options, roughly the same amount of calories, but which one's going to fuel your body and give you the energy for your health? So calories aren't just calories. Protein is essential for muscle repair, strength, and staying full between meals. As we age, getting enough protein becomes even more important to prevent muscle loss, sarcopenia, and supporting recovery if you're training. Fats. You will notice different types of fats listed: saturated fats, unsaturated fats, and trans fats. We'll look at these in a little bit more detail in just a minute. Carbohydrates. Carbs provide quick energy, but not all carbs are equal. Whole food sources like oats, legumes, and vegetables are great. Refined carbs like white bread and sugar break down quickly and can spike blood sugar. Sugars. This is a subset of carbohydrates and can be naturally occurring, like in fruit, or added in. Many processed foods hide large amounts of added sugar under different names. Too much sugar can affect energy, weight, inflammation, so check the label closely. Fiber. Crucial for gut health, steady energy, and keeping you full. High fiber foods like whole grains, legumes, and vegetables help regulate digestion and blood sugar. Aim for products with at least 3 grams of fiber per serve. Sodium. This is the amount of salt in the food. Too much sodium can raise blood pressure and stress your heart. As a general guide, choose foods with less than 120 milligrams per 100 grams where possible. Take a moment to read the panel properly, and it can help you make choices that better support your health, energy, and long-term goals. There are also lots of apps on the market at the moment designed to help you determine which foods are better for you. Please let us know in the comments if there is an app that you've used and it's worked well for you. Spotting added sugars. This is where the food labels get sneaky. Added sugars aren't always listed as just sugar. They hide behind names like glucose, sucrose, fructose, corn syrup, cane juice, malt extract, agave nectar, and many more. Sometimes you'll see several different types used in one product to avoid sugar being the first ingredient on the list, or to trick consumers into thinking it has less sugar than it actually does. It's also important to remember that even if a product says no added sugar, it might still contain concentrated fruit juice or syrups that behave in the same way in your body. A good guide is to check the sugar content under the carbohydrate section of the nutrition panel. If a product has more than 15 grams per 100 grams, that's quite high. Even 5 to 10 grams per 100 grams can add up fast if it's something that you eat regularly. Added sugars, especially in snacks, cereals, sauces, and yogurts, can lead to energy crashes, inflammation, which is associated with cancer, and weight gain if they sneak into your diet too often. So don't just rely on what's on the front of the pack. Flip it over, check the sugar, and scan the ingredients list for the hidden names. We've just talked about hidden sugars. Now let's quickly break down fats. Understanding types of fat. Fat isn't the enemy, but the type and the amount matter. On the nutrition panel, you may see different types of fat. Total fat, saturated fat, unsaturated fat, and trans fat listed. What you want to focus on is reducing saturated and trans fats and including more of the healthy fats known as unsaturated fats. Saturated fat is commonly found in processed meats, takeaway foods, pastries, and some dairy products. Too much of it can raise LDL, bad cholesterol, and increase the risk of heart disease. Trans fats, though now less common in Australia, are the worst. Artificially created fats often found in deep fried foods and some baked goods. These have no health benefit and they should be avoided altogether. On the other hand, unsaturated fats found in foods like avocado, olive oil, nuts, seeds, fatty fish can actually support heart health and brain health, reduce inflammation, and help you feel satisfied. So don't be afraid of fat, just choose the good kinds. Sodium content. Sodium, more commonly known as salt, plays a role in fluid balance, nerve function, and muscle contraction. But most of us are consuming far more than we need, often without realizing it. The average Australian eats nearly double the recommended daily sodium intake, and the biggest source isn't the salt shaker. It's processed and packaged foods. You'll find high sodium levels in everyday staples like breads, crackers, cereals, soups, sauces, and even foods marketed as healthy or low fat. It's especially common in products with long shelf lives, and the problem is consistently high sodium intake over time can raise blood pressure, strain your heart, and increase your risk of stroke and cardiovascular disease. When reading labels, check the sodium per 100 gram column to compare products accurately. Less than 120 milligrams per 100 is considered low. Over 400 milligrams per 100 grams is high. Aim for lower sodium options where you can, especially in foods that you eat daily. Also, be wary of marketing terms like reduced salt. This just means that there's less salt than the original version, but it still might be too high. For example, a reduced salt soup could contain over 300 milligrams of sodium per serve, which adds up quickly across meals. Cutting back doesn't have to mean bland food. Try flavoring with herbs, lemon, garlic, chili. It's a simple shift that can support your heart health and energy long term without sacrificing taste. Reading the ingredients list. If the nutrition panel tells you the numbers, the ingredients list tells you the truth. This is where you're going to find out exactly what's in the food. Ingredients are listed in order of quantity from highest to lowest. So if the first few ingredients are sugar, refined flour, or oil, you're not getting a nutrient-dense product, no matter what the front of the pack says. This is also where added sugars, preservatives, artificial colours and emulsifiers tend to hide under different names. You might not see sugar listed. Instead, it might appear as glucose syrup, maltodextrin, cane juice, fruit juice extract, or something ending in ose. When there are multiple types of sugars or fat used, it's often a red flag that the product is more processed than it appears. A good rule of thumb, the fewer the ingredients, the better, especially when you can recognize what they are. For example, this tin of diced tomatoes has 60% diced tomatoes as its first ingredient. Then it says tomato juice and salt. So I'd go to the per 100 gram column. You can see that the sugars are 2.8 grams or 2.8%, and the sodium is 64 milligrams or 0.064%. You can see that there are saturated fats, but it's only 0.1 grams and it has 22 calories. So for me, this is okay. If you don't know what an ingredient is or you wouldn't cook with it yourself, think twice. And don't be fooled by the front of the pack branding. Always turn it over, have a look what's really inside. The ingredients list is where you separate marketing from the truth. How to avoid marketing traps. Food packaging is marketing. It's designed by marketers to get you to buy it. This is a trap that so many people fall into, and I really hope that the points covered today help you and give you an understanding of what you're putting into your body. By now, you've probably realized that reading food labels isn't just about what's printed on the front. It's about seeing past the marketing, looking at the numbers, and also considering the ingredients. For example, this bottle of pesto sauce has a well-known celebrity on the front, which gives the impression that it's going to be a good, high-quality product. However, when you look at the nutrition label, it's extremely high in salt, saturated fats, and sugar. Because what's printed on the front of the pack, it's designed to sell, not to inform. Words like natural, light, no added sugar, low fat, gluten-free, or organic can sound reassuring, but many of these terms aren't tightly regulated and they don't always mean what we think they do. For example, a snack labeled gluten-free might still be packed with sugars and artificial thickeners. A low-fat yogurt might contain more sugar than a scoop of ice cream. No added sugar doesn't mean it's low in sugar. It just means that they didn't pour more in on top of what was already there. Even natural can include ingredients that have been highly processed, chemically extracted, or stripped of nutrients. The Health Star rating is another one to be cautious with. It's meant to guide better choices within a category, but it doesn't always reflect what's healthiest overall. A cereal with a high star rating could be still mostly refined starch and added sugar. That's why learning to flip the pack, read that nutrition label, scan the ingredients list, and understand the numbers puts you back into control. Let the facts, not the marketing, guide your choices. The more that you understand the labels, the easier it becomes to fuel your body, protect your health, and stay on track with your goals. So in summary, Nutrition Information Panel. Compare products using the 100 grams or mil column. Per serve can be misleading. Focus on key ingredients or nutrients like energy, protein, fats, carbohydrates, sugar, fiber, sodium. Spotting added sugars. Hidden sugars have multiple names such as glucose, sucrose, fructose, corn syrup, etc. Even no added sugar may include fruit concentrates. Sugar content greater than 15 grams per 100 grams, 15%, is high. Understanding types of fat. Limit saturated and trans fats like processed meats, takeaway pastries. Include unsaturated fats like avocado, olive oil, nuts, fish for heart health. Sodium content. High sodium is common in processed foods, breads, sauces, and cereals. Target is less than 120 milligrams of sodium per 100 grams, 0.12%. Avoid foods greater than 400 milligrams per 100, or 0.04%. Use herbs and spices to flavor foods instead of salt. Reading the ingredients list. ingredients listed from the highest to the lowest quantity, identify hidden sugars and additives by their alternative names, prefer products with fewer recognizable ingredients, avoiding marketing traps. Packaging is designed to sell, not inform. Terms like natural, light, low fat, organic are often unregulated and misleading. Now that you can confidently understand food labels and choose foods that truly nourish your body, the next big question is, how do you know if you're making real progress? Sometimes our results can plateau and it can feel like nothing is happening. This can make it difficult to stay motivated and focused on our goals. Is it better to track weight, your measurements, strength, or calories? In the next video, I'm going to show you exactly what to measure, when it's time to shift your focus, and how to determine if you're off track so that you can maintain your motivation and consistency. If you feel like you could use some guidance with your health or fitness, I'd really love to hear from you. There's absolutely no pressure, just a friendly chat to see if we're the right fit for what you need. If you're in Wollongong, you're welcome to visit our gym. But if you're not nearby, we also offer online programs that give you the flexibility to train from anywhere with personalised support, custom plans, and direct access to a real PT when you need it. Whatever your goals, you don't have to do it alone.